So how did you go about trying to educate the market, who probably has, at least me anyway, some ideas on what a prepackaged meal contains, maybe how it's not that healthy? Like, how did you go about kind of informing and educating and bringing brand awareness to a brand new product?
That's changed a little bit over time, but we've built on how we launched. So let me explain kind of what I mean by that. First off, we wanted the package to be able to be put on the shelf and sell faster than the conventional offerings with no marketing support. Just someone walks by, they see it, they pick it up, they try it, they like it, they tell their friend. And that's our story, because as a startup, you didn't have a lot of money on the front end for marketing. So we knew that the offering had to be compelling visually. At that point, what we did is we focused a lot on packaging design. Had a couple of key breakthroughs. We lived in stores for like 90 days, trying different, setting the shelves and, buying meat department managers, Starbucks to let us come in and face the product and try this stuff out. And what we learned was everybody wanted the package loud. They wanted it to jump off the shelf. And the louder we made that package, the more you missed it when you walked by it, because the supermarket is loud. The supermarket, everybody's vying for your attention. And we ended up having the breakthrough of adding more negative space and doing this kind of white background, which ultimately became a key part of our brand image. And not only did it jump off the shelves because everything else was screaming at you, that your eye kind of found this negative space, but it also went really well with this idea of clean eating. And so that became a really strong, compelling part of our package. And there was some other little things that happened. A lot of folks were trying to say too much on the front of the package. So we wanted to really refine our messaging. You say too much, you say nothing. That was kind of our internal motto. And then there were other cues and triggers that were really working with folks at the time. At the time, a lot of people in the category were kind of overselling the food and putting a bunch of side dishes and things that weren't in the food. We wanted really simple images that just made exactly what was in the package look really good. That hit. And then the retailer story is actually really important. So you mentioned Costco. They actually phenomenal partner for launching a brand and being an early adopter of a new product, because they had actually trained their member to trust the foods they picked. So if you're in the deli at Costco, there is definitely a range of more indulgent, more healthy food offerings, but the flavor and the editing, their buyers are tough. They taste everything and they get in there and they add their input. So there's a trust level there. So it helped with adoption because their members weren't afraid to try something new. And then they see this compelling packaging with a lot of strong attributes. And a very similar story for Whole Foods and a lot of our other early retail partners. So it was great that we had those partnerships on the front end that had that trust with their shopper.
Yeah. Ever since I read an article on Costco on how they do their white labeling on things. Have you ever heard about how they white label? Like they basically say, okay, Starbucks, you can come in, but then we're going to have a Kirkland brand that has to be somehow 10% better than your Starbucks brand. Maybe it's organic, maybe it's like single source bean, whatever it might be, but it has to in some way qualify as 10% better than the actual brand that's in the store, which I'm like, that's genius. That's a way to instill trust right there. It's like, we will always have better. You can still go with the name brand, but if we want to white label it, ours will be better. And you have to be okay with that.
And they'll put the work in to make it better. And they'll buy the volume and they'll work with you. I mean, it's just anything you read on that company, it's pretty incredible what they do. And we see it firsthand all the time, and they never cease to amaze me. But yeah, there's a lot of trust there. You start with that, and then folks start to recognize the brand and you get word of mouth. And then now, as we grow, you're able to pour fuel on the fire with new types of marketing campaigns, and we could do some paid advertising and things, but most importantly, you have this kind of base level of community and just engaging them over and over and getting them involved in the conversation. And we do all these digital focus groups to get the community involved and hear feedback directly from the customer. And you're able to start with that kind of base and then continue to pour fuel on the fire. Thanks to social media and the time we're in. Such a different world.
Hey, thanks for watching. This segment was made possible by our friends at Salesforce Commerce Cloud. If you're looking for the #1 platform for all your commerce needs, go check out salesforce.com/commerce. And don't forget to subscribe below and tap that little bell icon so you can stay on top of all the amazing new segments and full episodes that we'll be putting out over the coming year with some of the best and most influential commerce leaders out there.